Hi. So let's just start with the basics. The absolute beginning, the most critical thing that you need to know, and that's that you're mortal. And I know that that's you know that, and so it's the easiest thing to understand because you already know it. But it's also the hardest thing to understand because you don't want to know it. You don't want to accept it. You don't want to really take it in and have it impact you. But you need to. We all need to because we're all mortal. And I really, really, really believe that this is the number one thing that keeps us hung up. This concept that we're gonna live forever. And I know that you don't think that. You don't think you're gonna live forever. You know that you're mortal. But the reality is, a lot of us act as though we're going to live forever. And I don't want that for you. I don't want you to be living that way. And I totally understand why. I mean, it's far more comfortable mentally and emotionally, mentally and emotionally, to act as if or pretend as if we're going to live forever. Right? Looking mortality in the face is not fun. And, you know, we know we're going to have to do it, but we don't want to do it any sooner than we need to. Does that make sense? And it makes sense to approach it that way, that it's like, well, I'll deal with that when it's my time. The problem is that's the wrong time to be dealing with it. The sooner you understand that you're not going to live forever, that it can end at any time, and we don't get a second chance necessarily, we don't get a warning necessarily, it can just happen. The sooner you get clear on that, and the sooner you let go of any concept that, there's the right amount of time, or that, I hear people talking about, before their time. Someone died before their time. Never understood this phrase because I've never heard the opposite true. I've never heard someone say, oh, this person died and they were 95. And they go, it's about time. It was their time. That doesn't happen because we don't ever like to think of it as being our time. So if we can let go of that concept of before our time, or it's the right time, and just realize that it could be at any time, then it terrifies us, right? That the total randomness of it can terrify you. And I get that, and I know that. But it's also the key to the power, the key to unlocking your life. Really, I mean, it sounds like massive and grandiose, but it really is that big. The key to unlocking your life is understanding and accepting and embracing that you're mortal and that it can end at any time, and we don't know when that will be. Because if we don't live that way, if we don't live like a mortal, then we're living like immortals. And that's living in denial, right? That's assuming, pretending, expecting that there will be more time, that there will be enough time, that we can put off the decisions, we can put off chasing our dreams, we can put off following our hearts, and instead just trust, hope, pray that there'll be enough time, or that somehow we'll have some sense of when the time is coming and we'll start to make the necessary changes. Living that way, living as though you're going to live forever is dangerous. It's dangerous because you might be wrong. You might not judge when the time comes, and you might find yourself at the end of your life, whenever that comes, with a ton of regrets. And I want that for you. I don't. That's why I'm doing this. That's why I'm doing this whole mortality mindset piece. Is I do not want you to live a life of regret. I don't want you to have regrets at the end of your life. And the only way that I know of to avoid those regrets, other than, coming up with a crystal ball, the only way that I know of is to live in your heart and live in the moment. And the best way to do that is to realize that you only have this moment, because it's not promised to you. There's no good reason why you got up today, right? I'm going to say that again. There's no good reason why you got up today. Just because you got up all the previous days doesn't mean you get to get up tomorrow. Just because you and I were allowed to wake up today doesn't mean that we're guaranteed to see the end of today or tomorrow or any other tomorrows in the future. And really, the sooner we get that, and the sooner we're able to take that into our heart and into our being and really into who we are, into our core, the sooner we're able to do that, the sooner we're able to start making better choices, making better decisions, getting super clear on what matters to us. Because there's what matters, and then there's what really matters. And nothing brings that into focus like mortality. So, I've got a ton of other stuff to say about this, but I just want you to sit with that one, because this is the big one, right? We're all mortal. You're mortal too. And I know that you know that up here, and that's great. I need you to know that down here. I need you to not just know that, I need you to live that. Okay?